Welcome to Waypoint, a podcast exclusively for the winner of this year's March Masksness. This episode is just for Quetzal. If you're anyone except for Quetzal, you're on the wrong podcast right now. It's literally just them. Not even their player, it's just Quetzal. Just the fictional character. I'm Julian, I'm the game master.
And I'm Sanya, I play Charlotte.
I'm Yola, I play Moon.
And I'm Mimi, and I play Baking Extraordinaire, Max, or Ecstatic.
Right.
Yeah,
you won a side bracket.
I did win the baking side bracket.
You were the most successful out of all of us.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, every one of us had a character in it. And Sunny and I did not make it past round one.
Which I'm not mad about, because I was up against Queen Bee, and it's just a wonderful name. And I
said this on Twitter before, but that round really, really tested my loyalties, because Queen Bee is just perfect.
Yeah. Anyways, we have a new arc, a new episode, a slightly ruined voice on my part. Sorry in advance. I'm kind of sick right now, but we're just gonna power through it. And if you remember what happened in the last episode, everyone sort of tried to find themselves a little bit. All of the members of the Renegades after a relatively unsuccessful first solo outing.
Yeah.
And it ended with some leadership squabbles.
Whatever.
I'd say since then a little bit of time has passed. About a week, I'd say, enough time for all of you to clear your conditions.
Yay.
Oh, that's awesome for me.
You have regenerated mental health.
Quick question for everyone: what does your character do to self-care?
That's an interesting question.
I think Max probably reads online comments, interacting with the fans and stuff.
That helps your mental health, reading the YouTube
extremely
comments.
Unhealthy coping mechanism.
I never said it was healthy. Never said it was healthy.
That is also how I cope, and it's not healthy.
I would say Charlotte will probably watch some videos of Starbolt. You know, the old Starbolt.
That is also quite unhealthy.
Yes.
But maybe slightly better. What does Moon do?
Moon tinkers. I think whenever Moon needs a bit of time, they go to ship and just find something that needs repairing. And this is ship we're talking about, so it's not that hard to find something.
That sounds healthier.
Yeah, that sounds actually pretty good.
Yeah, keeping your ship from falling apart is self-care.
Yeah. Also just useful activity generally.
Oh, I'm not saying what she repairs is useful. Just she repairs it.
Moon, we ended last episode with Moon and Max basically picking up the ship.
Yep.
And bringing it back to base. And now I'm thinking okay, I want to build something. And Moon just builds this this glass ant farm for the ship to set it up inside so the ship can take the ants with it.
I think there was definitely a discussion. Okay, ship, I'm getting some mixed signals here. Do you want the ants to stay with you or not?
Ship would insist that they don't feel anything because they're a robot, but that they would like to keep the ants.
Okay, so I think right now there is a big pickled jar filled with earth and a few kidnapped. How many ants do you need? A few dozens, maybe.
You can't build an ant
ants.
farm without cracking a few ants.
Yeah, and just a jar with a bunch of ants in it. That's on the dashboard of ship.
Careful, don't step on the ant jar. Perfect. Okay, the ship has an ant jar now. Yeah, I'd say.
Got a jar of ants. I got a jar of ants.
What else has Moon been working on in the ship in the last week?
I think Moon started with their plans to get a basically a smaller, very much smaller version of ship to go along with them.
How small are we talking?
I would say I still haven't decided on what shape it's gonna be, but chicken.
Chicken, okay.
I was thinking between like robot dog, but I also kind of wanted to fly. I was also considering just like normal drone, like with the bunch of helicopters or just hovering. And I was also, for some reason, I can't get the thought of Moon having like a metal parrot on their shoulder out of my head.
I've been thinking, I think, of Booster Gold's drone. It's basically like this small, very futuristic looking oval little drone with a visor at the front.
You know what? I'm also kind of thinking like Eva from WALL-E. That might be an interesting choice.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that game Murder by Numbers?
No.
That also has a robot in it that's pretty cute. But yeah, I think Moon also had a level up that we haven't yet done.
Oh yeah, right. Moon had a
yes.
level up and we don't know what it was yet.
I just decided to take another move from the Outsider playbook. It's called Belong in Two Worlds. Basically, I can now ask my home planet for help, either with like gadgets, or I can ask them what they know about the problem we are facing. And it's also a way to clear conditions, because no one fucking comforts or support. Like, guys, it's a win-win. You can clear conditions, you get potential. Why is no one doing that?
Yeah, but you uncomfort and unsupport each other so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We need to get to a point where we're actually comfortable doing that.
So basically,
that's
I got
the next
that.
goal.
Moon can
That's the
now
next
run
goal.
to their parents. Mom, Dad, parent, can you give me like a thing that will solve this problem, please? And if I miss the role, then they will want something difficult in return.
Oh, also Moon wanted to work on a security system for our headquarters.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how much of that, Julian, you will allow me to do between sessions.
Having a security system seems like something that would be handled either in a way of like one of you gets the sanctuary move or the sanctuary feature with. I think, I don't even know if any of you can get it, but it's possible that someone can get it. Or otherwise it's something where at some point we can say, okay, you have managed to build that now. But in that case, I would say that's not something that takes a week. That's something that takes a bit longer.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Moon also does have that alien tech move, right?
I do.
Yeah, that's single use though usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
The
could make it.
gizmo
I mean, I
move.
do have alien like weaponry as a skill. We could make it like maybe a defend, or maybe just an unleash your powers move. If I manage to get like a rudimentary like proximity alarm and some security cameras like set up.
I mean, that makes sense. Either way, I'd say this is something that probably takes a bit.
Okay.
If you want to set up like a full scale security system from your ship, because like I'd assume you'd have to build that into the house. I like the idea of you starting off like 3 projects pretty much immediately, and having the parts for them spread around, having like some things already installed, some things not installed yet, and this being sort of a transitory period for your hideout.
Okay.
And by next adventure, I can see that just being set up and something you can interact with through moves.
Okay. So, what's Max and Charlotte doing?
Well, I have been organizing the interview that Rex got for us with, let's say, not podcast media.
Yes, you have been doing that,
Yeah.
and you found out from Rex more about this person. They seem to be pretty keen on talking to you. Their name's Jessica Veritas, who is apparently a reporter for the Waypoint Evening Times, which is a pretty prestigious newspaper in the city.
Wet.
Yes. And she has a pretty good history that isn't like... She doesn't just tell very positive stories about her interview subjects. She has written quite a few negative stories, but she very much has a reputation of someone who's honest about people
So
and about what
integrity.
she thinks about them. Yeah, something like integrity. Specifically, something you'll notice is that she kind of got a lot of... She does have some bad blood with the SOS,
Ooh.
but, you know, not a, like, enemy relationship with them,
Yeah.
just in case of she wrote a pretty scathing expose against them at some point that actually changed a lot in how they had to operate, and they had to admit some people that they didn't admit before. So yeah, she seems like a pretty perfect fit for you guys.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, no problem. So I think additionally, Max has started basically to organize the whole cleaning event by trying to find sponsors so they can give food to the people who help out. And also,
cleaning supplies.
she's been trying to get into contact with the Witchfinders.
Okay. Interesting.
Why them?
I'm gonna say if you want to set up this event, I'd say at this point you've run into maybe a few walls before things could really get started,
Yeah, that's
because it's
fine.
something that you have to get sponsors for it. You have to get permissions to set up something like that. You do have like slight community support already. There's like a small growing group of people who have heard of you enough that they might be interested in that. But it's something that's gonna take a little bit to set up, and Rex is gonna also talk to you about that. Like that's something that's gonna maybe take 1 or 2 weeks, and that the interview might actually help with that. So
Yeah,
doing that
I think
first
so too.
is a smart move.
Why does Max want to find the Witchfinders?
Well, they are, after all, the people who know the most about magic that we've heard of so far. And considering that the enemy that got away was apparently using magic, it probably makes sense to talk to them and see maybe like what kind of defenses one needs or what type of magic it could be or something.
Moon would probably go with you because they are trying to get a bit more info on that and possibly something for Ship to research.
Yeah, so on the topic of like finding the Witchfinders, on the topic of like magic, with magic I can imagine with Waypoint being like a city of superheroes, even if magic uses a kind of like soft band there is still like a big library with like superhero history and all of that stuff that would also probably have books about magic. So if you want to do your own research. In specific to the Witchfinders, you can definitely find contacts for them, and they will do a meeting with you. After all, you're a registered superhero, and like team-ups are necessary a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think Max would probably go the networking route first before hitting the books.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna say like there's a couple appointments being set up now.
Yeah.
Rex would probably try to get the interview done as soon as possible.
Yep.
And after that, he had set up the Witchfinders interview for maybe the next day, and everything with the charity event can be planned in the time after. At least the parts that aren't already kind of set in stone. What about Charlotte?
Well, I guess Charlotte is probably spending a little bit more time alone. The books she bought
Oh, yeah.
about leadership are now in the trash. Because, she couldn't stand looking at them.
Understandable.
So they were thrown away. And she is spending a lot of time training and, perfecting her skills.
You talked last time about how you kind of want to set up like a training area inside of your headquarters. So I'm going to say like with Charlotte's super speed, you managed to do that pretty quickly. And while the others do their own thing, they just see a green lightning bolt passing through constantly like on training.
And also I would like to hit the books and read up on the Witchfinders because, I'm still part of the team and I still want to contribute because that's very important to me. So, I would like to do some research on the Witchfinders.
Yeah, right. Like I mentioned previously, there is like this big museum/library that's in the center of the city, very close to the SOS headquarters.
Yes.
I have notes about this somewhere. Oh, okay, I didn't give it a very creative name. It's the Museum of Superheroes.
That's okay.
So this is basically like a big museum/library of records, which collects information about heroes, teams, and all of that. Like, it's also probably going to have an exhibit on Starbolt if you go there. They're also frequented by superheroes enough that there's probably like a little roadblock at the front, like no super speed past this point or something like that, as to not damage the exhibitions.
I would also go there in like normal clothes and stuff so that no one recognizes me.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that would be a bit awkward, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, do you think so? Do you think there might be a situation where you say I'm Starbolt, people look at you and are like, wait, you're Starbolt, and we have this thing again that's been happening every 5 minutes? Yeah, you go there in civilian identity.
Yes.
And you are met by nice people at the front who are willing to sort of lead you in the right direction. So you're looking for specifically some stuff about the Witchfinders or stuff about like magical supervillains, or what kind of stuff are you looking for?
Specifically about the Witchfinders and, trying to find out what kind of people they are and if we can like actually work with them or if we have to be like super careful about that.
They're gonna lead you to a section on, magical superheroes and the history of magical superheroes. Which is actually quite extensive, and you find yourself kind of like a little bit lost there pretty quickly, because it appears that despite Waypoint not being all that old, it does have quite the history, and like the world has quite the history with magical heroes. You basically wander around the corridors of this library, and I assume you're going by alphabetics or something like that.
Yeah, probably. Seems like a good strategy.
Yeah, and while looking for the Witchfinders, you go through W, there can't be all that much. And you notice that there is definitely an empty space there, but you can't find books on the Witchfinders or like reports on the Witchfinders.
Oh.
It seems that they're not here right now, or like someone took them.
Okay.
There's a librarian though walking around if you have any questions.
Yeah, I would like to walk up to the librarian.
Hello, can I help you?
Hi, I'm looking for some stuff about the Witchfinders, but I can't seem to find anything.
Witchfinders Legion. Let me check. Oh yeah, that report is classified, I'm afraid.
Okay, is there any way I can access that?
I mean, there's public information, if you want that sort of thing.
I mean, that would be great, but if there's any way I could, who's allowed to access those classified files?
I'm gonna check. I'm not great with technology, I'm sorry. He walks over to a computer and starts sort of typing in on that. Alright, let's see. Okay, so apparently not all the information is classified, mainly the reports from the 90s. From the looks of it, we've taken everything off of the shelf just in case, because it was like all bundled together. Oh yeah, I understand why. That was the big time for... Basically, that was when magic was kind of driven out of the city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a long and pretty ugly story. I know some things about it.
Well, if you would like to share with me, I'm very interested in that.
Sure. Basically, like moral panic. There was like big satanic panic time. Not a good time for magical superheroes. Basically, like a lot of them kind of had to go into hiding. There was this big team, this big like I think angel themed team that had like a lot of problems with public outcry, and that sort of led to the creation of the Witchfinders Legion, like as a sort of moral group of superheroes. And the SOS really didn't do anything to help in that situation because they wanted to remain neutral and wanted to like have a good image. And the magical community still kind of pissed at them for that. And like as a lot less magical superheroes these days because they just, kind of abandoned the whole superhero concept because they didn't get support back then. I don't know the absolute details. That's just what I heard.
Okay, thank you.
Apparently the Witchfinders aren't as bad today. I know someone who's in them, and he's fine.
Oh, you know someone. That's amazing. Would it be too much to ask if you could give me their contact information?
Sure, yeah. He's an anti-mage. He's very good at like breaking spells and stuff like that. He starts writing down a number for you with the name Ryan and hands it over to you.
Thank you so much. That is so helpful.
Yeah, sure. It just tell him Will told you to call him.
What?
Anyways, have a nice day.
My brain is exploding
so
over
much.
here.
Calm yourself, Vio.
I will do my best.
Anyways, he gives you the number and basically sends you off with that.
Okay, I hope I didn't forget to write down anything.
Uh,
I have an idea for another scene. But if I was thinking like the day before the interview, Moon would probably seek out Charlotte to see how they're doing.
yeah, sure. So maybe we can do that like pretty soon after Charlotte comes back from like personal research with informations from the library from the Museum of Superheroes.
Yeah, and I will obviously tell the others immediately about what I found out and that I got the contact information for Ryan, who is a spellbreaker, was it?
A spellbreaker, yeah. At least that's what you were told.
Max gives you an awkward thumbs up, like, good job.
Thanks.
That was very well done. Maybe next time I'll come with you to the library. I have some research of my own to do.
Oh, sure, of course. Sorry, I didn't know you wanted to go as well.
No, it's fine. I'm still, but...
This really feels like a veiled jab at you're running ahead without telling us again.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so maybe when I've got this project finished, just so we're clear, Moon hasn't told you what exactly they are working on, just that it's something to do with ship and it could be very cool. So when I finish that one, I'll have some time and some opportunities.
Sure. Yeah, I guess just let me know when you're finished.
Okay. So, Charlotte, I wanted to talk to you about the whole leader situation and see how you're doing. You seem to have adjusted well. And you can sense like a lot of insecurity and nervousness, but also like this urge to, I want to help you, but I don't want to say the wrong thing again.
As I told you, I'm fine. I'm fine with that.
Are Charlotte's emotions showing the same thing as her words are?
Absolutely not.
What could Moon reasonably get from Charlotte right now?
She's still sensing a lot of sadness and disappointment. Not so much anger anymore. Yeah, it's mostly just sadness.
Disappointment in herself or
yeah, disappointment in herself.
Charlotte, I hear what you're saying, but I sense what you're not saying, and
well, I guess it's pretty hard to lie to an empath, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do the whole like privacy thing, but I can't help noticing what I'm noticing, and maybe it could be good for you to share a bit of that. I don't want to go probing where I'm not wanted, but I know this feeling of like not being good enough and blaming yourself for not doing enough and stuff like that. So did I ever tell you what I did on Chilao before I went here?
No, you haven't.
You've maybe seen me like practice my katas with my telepathic bands, and
yes,
there is actually a sort of the closest thing I could find was like martial arts competitions that are also like not about fighting each other, but about presenting your technique and your form and stuff like that. And to be honest, I mostly did that to make my parents proud, because they never really noticed me. It was always like, yeah, Moon, good job. Anyway, here's this thing I want you to do. And I mean, I wasn't like super good or anything. I was pretty middling. And one of the things that actually drove me to do this whole trip, to get out of there, to experience something else, was there was this tournament and I got 4th place, and I mean, I guess that's pretty good. But after that, I
would say that's pretty good.
There were 10 people there. It wasn't that good.
Well, you're still better than half of them.
Yeah, but
more than half.
Afterwards, I talked to my, I guess you could say, mentor. It's one of my parents that is pretty pretty invested in this community. And I asked him, hey, what can I do to be better? What isn't working? I never get close. I always get middling. And he looked at me and he said, yeah, Moon, you are very good technically, but you just don't have the sort of spirit it takes to get to the next level. And that hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry. That sounds pretty painful. If it helps you, I definitely know how it feels like when your parents don't believe in you.
Hey, Moon, roll me a comfort or support someone.
Okay. Please, dice, don't fail me now. My mundane is better
How
than
mundane
it was
are you?
than it's ever been. Okay, that's a 7.
That's all right.
Oh, it's an 8 actually, because when we target each other, if we target someone we have influence over,
right?
It's an 8. It doesn't.
And the only one who doesn't have influence right now is Max over Charlotte.
Yes.
On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential, clear condition, or shifts labels if they open up to you. So it basically is up to you if Charlotte opens up and gets to do something, or if she doesn't engage and doesn't get stuff.
I think Charlotte will engage because she very much appreciates what Moon is trying to do.
So, I'm not saying that if other people tell us we don't have what it takes, it can hurt pretty bad, but it also means that we can prove them wrong. It also means that we can prove ourselves wrong. Maybe we do have what it takes. Maybe there isn't something that it takes. Maybe with enough work and determination, you can get there anyway.
Thank you, Moon. That's very, very sweet of you. I guess I'm just disappointed in myself, and I think I just wanted too much too fast, and I wasn't ready for it, and I'm disappointed and angry in myself that I wasn't ready for it, because I should be.
How could you be? We are the first time you've ever worked with a team. How could you be perfect at something you've never done?
I mean, I don't know. It's just something I should be able to do if I want to be a leader, and I wasn't.
Yet. That's very, very important to remember that.
Thank you, Moon. I really, really appreciate what you're doing. I guess I'm gonna be fine. I promise. It's just, it's just hard right now, and I guess I just need some time to work with it and to work through it. Yeah. But I'm doing my best. I promise. I will not leave this team alone, and I will support the team in any way I can.
I know. Charlotte, believe me, I know. I can feel that. As much as you don't want me to sense some things from you, I also sense that about you. So don't worry, you don't have to prove anything to me. I can already tell.
I'm sorry. I just
don't be
forget about how empaths work. It's still like a pretty wild concept to me. But also, it can be very helpful.
Charlotte, also, you get to mark potential or shift labels. You don't have any conditions right now.
I would like to mark maybe shifting labels. Is it also, one up and one down?
Yeah, it wouldn't, basically based on how you've just been supported, would that shift your labels? How would that shift your labels?
Okay. No, I think I would like to mark potential.
Yeah, do that. That's fine.
I like that. I mean, this kind of conversation rarely changes anything big, but it reminds someone what you could be. And I think if that's not potential, I don't know what is.
And so the following day, after you've had this little conversation, is the day of the interview that you've had planned out for you. And in the early hours before your interviewer arrives, Rex is gonna come by to sort of like give Max a last minute brief on everything.
I don't think Max is the one who needs to be briefed about how to interview.
I would just like to add that Charlotte is super nervous and is feeling sick and can't eat anything because it's just like high levels of anxiety.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm guessing
I wonder
Max
what that
is a little
feels
bit
like.
more calmer, probably.
Well, Max is pretty stressed, but not necessarily because of the interview. What even Charlotte is noticing that the past few days Max just keeps looking at her phone and then putting it away and then taking it out again and looking at her phone. And Moon probably picked up on the fact that Max thinks about her mother a lot.
Yeah. I'm gonna play into that by completely fucking destroying the remains of my voice by doing the Rex voice.
Oh no.
All right, Max. Can we go to like, you know, a small side room or something, discuss all of this without your team?
Yeah, we can just go to my bedroom, basically.
Yeah, perfect. Let's do that.
Charlotte, is this one of the things where they don't want me to eavesdrop?
Yeah, I think that's a private matter. Really, don't try to not sense anything. I think.
Okay.
If Max wants to tell us, she will tell us. If not, we leave her alone.
How many situations are there where people are like, man, I'd really like for someone to eavesdrop?
After I've said I want to go into a different room to be away from your team.
Well, Rex said that, not me.
All right. First of all, she's coming in an hour. So get your team briefed. She's going to be like, I've seen a few interviews she's done. She's pretty aggressive, like in a kind of cool way, but also in a, you know, she asks hard-hitting questions that kind of designed to catch you off guard a little. So just tell your team to kind of look out for that. Also, like, she's so super gonna ask about the SOS. She's absolutely gonna ask about that situation. And you kind of have to make a choice here of how aggressive you want to go with the SOS.
I feel like it's very necessary that we draw the line between us and the SOS.
All right. Just, you know, be aware of, like, burning bridges with the SOS. Like, you kind of already done that, but it can get worse. So, you know, just so you know what you might be going for here.
Yeah, I got this. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Talking about how you got this, you talked to Mom yet?
No, I've just had a lot on my plate, you know, like this interview thing and the event we're planning, getting in touch with the Witchfinders. Didn't really have time.
I mean, at least you're being honest. Like, she's called me. I know that you haven't talked to her yet. You gotta do this. Like, this is top priority. You know, she is not on board with this. And the interview is just gonna put that out even more. Like, that's something that's big enough that she might read it.
It's just, I wish I had a bit more success to show her, if you know what I mean. I mean...
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's just kind of hard to tell her that I can do this if I can't really prove it yet.
That's the thing, though. Like, she's not looking for, you can do this. She's looking for, stop doing this immediately.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen.
Okay, like, I won't tell her that, but if you want to tell her that, feel free, just do it, because she keeps blowing up my phone.
Yeah, I will.
And she's the one who pays for, like, everything, right?
I know.
Like, okay, just, you know, if you don't deal with it, it's gonna deal with itself, and not on your terms.
I will deal with it, I promise.
Okay. Just, I think I'm gonna support you no matter what, as long as I can afford it, alright?
I know
Like,
you got my back.
Just, okay, let's calm ourselves down now. We can think about all of this later. Interviews coming up.
Yeah, don't forget to smile. Even the PR agent needs to smile.
Yeah. Meet up with your team. Brief them on what they're supposed to say and what they're not supposed to say. Good. He kind of gives you a slap on the shoulder. All right, you got this. Go out there.
Yep.
Yeah, you make your way back to your team.
Yeah, I go back to the team, and well, I think I can tell that Charlotte is pretty nervous.
So, Max, why don't you want to talk to your mom?
Moon.
I didn't eavesdrop. I
fine.
couldn't talk to you like 5 minutes without like your mom showing up in your thoughts. So
yeah, it's fine. It's just she kind of wants me to stop being on this team and either go back home or join the SOS, but like I'm not going to do that. Don't worry about it. It's just
yeah, obviously
she's not the easiest person to talk to. Is all.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of nerves in the room right now. So this interview, how do you do that?
Well, it just comes down to a person being a stand-in for the public, asking us questions that the public wants to know. That's basically all it is. And the interviewer we got here can get a bit aggressive, but not in a mean way. Just, she's probably the type of person who appreciates clear answers, not like wishy-washy talking around the subject. And like, we should be fine. We should be fine. We're all very charming people, right?
If you say so.
If you don't know what to say to a specific question, just let me handle it, okay?
Okay.
I can do that.
Also, we need to decide how we want to handle the whole SOS thing. Like, do we want to go soft on them? Do we want to go hard on them? What's your view on all this?
To be honest, I'm gonna follow your lead on this. I think they're a bunch of entitled pricks, but other than that, I don't really have a problem with them.
I actually want to be pretty honest about what happened. I mean, I guess, it was pretty personal for me. If you want to go softer, that I totally understand, but I'm just still pretty pissed about what happened.
All right, when we get asked about it, I'm just gonna, say my part and feel free to add anything you feel is necessary. Just try not to get very emotional. That would probably be bad.
Okay, yeah, I'll do my best.
Don't forget to smile. Smiling is very important. First impressions, they're gonna probably be taking photographs, so...
Charlotte is doing a very, very forced smile.
And as you have this nice little conversation, it should still be half an hour, but you hear a ringing at the door.
Oh, is it the cleaning supplies? We ordered some cleaning supplies for the thing.
It is not the cleaning supplies.
Quick question, Jules, where's Enoch in all this? Did he...
He's in space. When he heard that people were coming over, he vacated immediately.
He probably said that he needs to fill out the forms for the cleaning event and then disappeared.
Exactly. And
do we have enough security to at least have like a security camera in front, like pointing at the front door?
Yeah, I think you'd have that at that point. And that is enough to see that there's like a small gaggle of people. You see Jessica Veritas herself among them, along with a whole little group of like recording people, a cameraman, a few assistants. She apparently brought her whole entourage.
All right, let's go and greet our guests.
We got this.
The door opens and they immediately like flood in, like no invitation needed. They enter. Jessica looks around, seems to immediately points at a few spots.
Did we do anything to hide the fact that we have a spaceship parked in? Like,
that's something you gotta tell me.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Max has absolutely no intention of hiding the whole alien thing. If you want that stopped, you're gonna have to tell her.
Yeah, I think as soon as Moon noticed that, oh, no one actually cares if I tell them that was just these military guys that have actually no power over me whatsoever, I think Moon probably won't stop you on that one.
As long as Moon doesn't tell you that she's in trouble with the US military, it's not a problem.
Exactly.
Yeah, she immediately storms in and like starts pointing to her assistants like, okay, over there's where we set up the lights. Camera right over there. We have good natural lighting through that window. And only after she's basically done with that, she turns around to the three of you. Okay, so you're the Renegades, right?
That's us.
Yes.
Moon waves.
All right, perfect. Pleasure to meet you. She extends her hand out for like a firm handshake.
Max reciprocates with a firm handshake.
Did Max have training in handshakes?
Yes, Max had a handshake instructor.
The handshake is focus grouped.
That was like the next year on the superhero camp. It was
Yeah.
like how to properly handshake, how to judge the force of your handshake.
There was just an off mission that we never saw.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard a bit about you, mainly through the garbage press, but there's been a little bit of Reika, right? You've had contact with Reika.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, complete trash man. I used to work with him.
Oh, really?
Absolutely useless. Yeah. He used to work at the Evening Times. Long time ago. He was fired for I don't even want to talk about it, but it was some pretty bad stuff.
It speaks for your paper,
Vibe check. Does she really not want to talk about, or is that like a thing people say in the hopes of you asking them to talk more about it?
That's something she says in the sense of, you can read about it in my article on the subject.
Oh, okay. Speaking of vibe check, I assume I'm getting what she's pretty honest with, like what she's putting out there, like energy-wise.
I mean, she seems to be pretty driven and pretty ambitious. That's probably the main things you get from her. You get the feeling that she came here to write an interesting article.
And she will do whatever it takes to get interesting story stuff?
I mean, you don't get the feeling that she fucking wants to destroy you or anything like that.
Okay.
Journalists do want to write engaging things.
Yeah.
You can sit down right over here. We're setting up the lights right now. We arrived a little bit early, but we wanted to start on time. I have another interview in 2 more hours.
So, can we get you anything? We have some coffee brewing and some snacks.
Oh no, I only drink my own water. Thank you.
Okay. Does she react at all to being spoken to telepathically?
No, you get the feeling that she knew that already.
Okay.
I have a lot of questions. Lot of big questions going around right now, and I thought it might be a good idea to have them answered in a different format than in the audio version of a trash rag.
Well, we have a lot of answers to give that wouldn't fit with such a format, so we're glad to have you here.
Yeah, podcasting is garbage. Let's sit down. Yeah, basically, her assistants brought chairs.
Right.
If you put up chairs, they're putting them aside and putting their own chairs there.
Are they more comfortable than ours?
No, they're less comfortable.
Damn.
But they are more honest. They're very honest chairs.
Julian, please tell me, what does an honest chair look like?
It has exactly the purpose that it's supposed to have. It has 4 legs. It's made of wood. It makes you sit upright. It does exactly what it tells you it does, and nothing more.
Oh, so not the actor interview foldable chairs.
No. They did not bring foldable chairs. They brought actual wooden chairs.
Wow.
It's good for the camera. And you do see a camera guy already taking a few pictures of you talking to Miss Veritas as you all have a seat. And she says, it's going to take a little bit to set everything up. How you doing? How are you?
Great. We're just, settling in, getting ready for community events and such.
Oh, community events. Interesting. I'm not going to ask you too much. I'm going to keep that for the interview.
Yes, just a question to keep in mind for later.
You talk like someone with a little bit of PR experience.
Yes, I am actually from Dreamland, and there it was
Oh, okay.
pretty normal to, have a town superhero who would handle such things.
I did write an expose on Dreamland at some point.
Maybe you've read it.
Oh yeah,
I don't think that could legally be read by people in Dreamland.
Yeah, it was banned in Dreamland, but since coming to Waypoint, I've been doing a lot of reading, so yes, I have indeed read it.
Yeah, I still get sent severed fingers for that. I don't know whose. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
On the first one, they told me it was my son. I don't have a son, and it's definitely more than 10 at this point. Okay, I see. The lighting guy signaling me he's done. All right. Do you feel ready?
Very confused and disturbed.
You feeling ready?
I think so. A bit nervous, to be honest.
Nervousness is fine. Nervousness makes for good interviews.
Really?
All right.
Okay.
I mean, in my experience, makes people be a lot less bullshitty with me.
Well, we're not planning to be bullshitty, so...
All right. She looks over at one of her assistants who has set up basically like a recording device. It's not a televised interview, it's an audio interview, but they have a camera person just to take a few snapshots for the article.
How is that different than a podcast?
No, it's for like a written article. It's for a newspaper.
Okay.
She just records it on audio so she
fun
can
trying
have the correct
to
audio for the
put
notes.
telepathic communication into words for your transcript.
Yeah, she'll direct Moon to send everything she sends to the rest of them also to an assistant who just writes down Moon's dialogue.
So we
Makes
have
sense.
a stenographer with us, just...
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Man, she's prepared.
Basically, since this is not like a televised interview and just something that she wants to pull quotes from ultimately, she just essentially leads into it and doesn't like introduce you at the start. So, let's start with the big thing. What happened with the SOS? That's basically how we've all heard about you. Team of 3 new superheroes that weren't established in Waypoint before, trying to get into the most prestigious team, actually being invited into the most prestigious team, and turning them down. What happened?
Coming out with the big guns right from the start. I like it.
Do you?
I don't think there's a lot of value in playing around that one.
That is very fair, and I appreciate that. So I'm going to give it to you straight. You probably also heard that we actually were sent on a mission for the SOS on our first day there. And, we actually completed that mission as a full success. Thus, we were invited. The issue was more in how the SOS handled the aftermath of it. We realized that the SOS has methods and priorities that do not align with ours. Because ultimately, the goal of the Renegades is to protect the vulnerable people of Waypoint.
And in what way was the result of that whole thing not to your liking?
Let's just say the SOS seems to be somewhat guided by financial interests, which leads to certain populations in Waypoint getting away with crimes that maybe they shouldn't.
I mean, you don't have to beat around the bush. I have all the information right here. You arrested Gregor Galta, right? The CEO of Waypoint Incorporated Metals and Pipelines.
Yes.
He got out pretty much immediately. Understandable. He's on the corporate council, and you had an understanding, had an issue with that.
Yes, as you know, people that almost got killed by him, frankly, only did not get killed by him only because we were, performing so well. And, I literally kept us from falling to death in an elevator. That seemed, let's just say, quite unfair. He kept attacking people for weeks. It was a miracle that nothing worse happened, and yet he gets away with it.
Yeah, I understand. I understand your perspective. You had an issue with this perceived corruption. You didn't want to let this guy get out to just commit crimes once more, right?
Well, mostly we want to make sure that the people of Waypoint are safe. And he keeps posing a risk, in my opinion, because he has absolutely no incentive to change.
Okay, that was good. Let's go to the next question then.
Well done, Max.
So, you called your new team the Renegades fairly recently, right?
Yes.
Is that supposed to be a specific attack on the previous team that you decided not to join? Renegade evokes a certain kind of figure.
Well, it's more than that. It's like breaking away from what mainstream superheroics have become. I mean, the SOS obviously represents that. I'm not going to lie about that, but they're hardly the only ones. We want to break away from what it has become and get back to how it used to be. Back when Starbolt and the other heroes, the first heroes, rose up to help people. We want to get back to that.
It's interesting that you talk about Starbolt, since wasn't it Starbolt who founded the SOS?
It was indeed Starbolt who founded the SOS. But ever, since his death, the decline of it has been pretty harsh. And in fact, I would say that we embody the ideals of Starbolt much better, considering we do have the new Starbolt in our team, trained by Starbolt personally.
She nods and turns to Charlotte, away from Max. That's the next thing that I wanted to get into. So, you, from what I gather, had certain issues with the SOS that go beyond corruption.
Yes, Charlotte is a bit taken aback that she knows about that.
Yeah, it's definitely not public information.
They set a condition if we want to join the SOS, namely that I will not be using the name Starbolt. That is something I can't do, because I promised Starbolt that I will do anything to fill his shoes, and I would have broken my promise, and I just couldn't do that. I don't want to break a promise to the most important person in my life. So I couldn't do that.
So you knew Starbolt personally and pretty well from being such an important person in your life.
Yes, he was my mentor. He trained me. We spent a lot of time together, and I would say that I really know his principles, and I stand for that.
That is good to hear. You are actually the first person that I get to talk to in this way who claims the title of Starbolt, but I'm sure you've heard that you're not the first person to claim that title so far. Especially from the SOS, we've heard quite a few. Apparently, according to what they said, before you even arrived, there were 8 people who claimed the title of Starbolt, who tried to join that organization. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know these people, and if I ever met someone who tried to claim the name of Starbolt, I would just say that it's wrong. It's just wrong. You can't claim a name of someone you don't even know. So I don't know. I understand that they want to use it as a publicity thing, or to make themselves seem better than they are. I don't know. I do not personally know those people, so I can't really claim that I know any of their motivations. But to me, it's just wrong.
It is interesting, because from insider sources in the SOS, we did hear that all 8 of them claimed to have been trained by Starbolt, just like you do.
Well, I don't know anything about that, and I doubt that he trained any of them, because, as I said, we spent a lot of time together. I don't think he would have had time to,
He does
train
have
8
super
other people.
speed, doesn't he? He can be at a lot of places very fast.
That is true, but yeah, that's not exactly how it works.
All right, if you say so.
I mean, in the end, it's probably gonna be the people who decide who their new Starbolt is, and I can tell you, this Starbolt here is going to come out on top.
She kind of ignores Max a little as she goes to her next question and turns towards Moon.
Oh no.
So, where exactly are you from? Because we couldn't find anything on your background in heroics.
Oh, I've not been a superhero before I came to Waypoint. Where I come from,
Interesting.
I've just been me.
How did you get an invitation to the team then?
When I arrived here in the US, I was picked up by a few officials.
Oh, so you're not American?
Not by birth, no.
All right.
Just by heart.
By geography.
By the dawn's early light.
You can sense for Moon that they're trying to... I don't get what that has to do with anything. So I was told that for people with my abilities, and she sends like the mental version of like a wink, that Waypoint might be the best place to apply myself. And that the SOS would be the best place to do so.
I couldn't help but notice when I came in here that you have this very interesting massive fixture here. When we were looking at the at recent registries in super powered vehicles, we found something about this ship and that it's registered to you.
Yeah, my ship.
Is that like a superhero vehicle you acquired, built?
I built it mostly. So far, I'm not really allowed to use it as a superhero vehicle yet because, as you know, the bureaucratic process takes quite some time. But eventually, I would like to have the opportunity to use my knowledge and my skills to help people, and this might help me with doing that. And I think at that point, like, something inside the ship just falls off and clangs to the floor noisily. Once I get a bit more work on it done, of course.
All right, interesting. Are you from Earth?
Moon shoots like a panicked thought to Max and Charlotte. Should I? I mean, I don't mind, but you guys help.
Max just thinks at you. You know what? Just drop the bomb. Just say you're not from Earth.
Okay. Moon turns back to Jessica. No, I am not. And you feel a certain amount of pride with that.
Her eyebrows rise pretty high. So there have been people talking about you potentially being an alien being.
What gave it away?
Are you confirming that?
Yes.
Are you aware of any other aliens currently living on Earth?
I mean, I haven't met anyone yet, so I don't know.
This could lead into a whole different interview. I think we've kind of cracked a little gold mine here. How does alien society work? How many are there? As far as most regular people know. And yes, there have been rumors about a few superheroes over the years, but as far as most people know, aliens don't exist or are not a confirmed scientific fact. This is pretty... if it's true, this is quite revolutionary stuff.
Max shoots a thought at Moon like, just say you're not allowed to talk about it.
I know that you have a lot of questions, but I don't think I'm the right person to answer them, honestly. I can only talk to, well, myself, and I don't think that I should be the first person to initiate contact between my peoples and yours. So I think that's something that maybe a diplomatic delegation could do a much better job at, and I don't want to mess anything up.
Here's one last question about that subject. Are you aware of any Earth authorities that are aware of your presence here, where we could maybe inquire more?
I mean, I'm not sure I should. I think what I can say is that I told you that I was picked up by official personnel when I landed here, so I don't think it will be much work for you to find out who that was.
All right. She goes through her notes and looks up if there's anything else that she'd want to talk about.
So, the SOS is shit, you are Starboard, and alien life exists. Anything else you need for a good story? So, is it everything you want to know? I was kind of thinking maybe you wanted to know about us, personally, about Riverside. Because it seems to me that most of Waypoint likes to forget about Riverside, and
I'm here to ask the questions of the public, and the questions of the public are about this strange team that turned down the SOS. I'd like to, if you want to tell me something about your current hero work that you think is interesting, feel free to.
Max, give them the cleaning pitch.
Well, we obviously know that Riverside is not the most prestigious of the neighborhoods that a hero can operate in Waypoint, but it's the ideal neighborhood for people like us, because, as I've said before, we want to help the vulnerable people. And we're not just going to do that by performing superheroics. We're also going to help the community. Just now, the next event we got planned is a neighborhood cleanup. For the people participating, we're gonna offer some food and other rewards. And if you know someone might want to get their name out there, we're still looking for sponsors.
A cleanup program for Riverside. So, how much do you people know about this part of town?
Well, we've gotten to know the residents here pretty well in, the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we think that this cleanup event might be our chance to get to know the people of Riverside a bit more, get to know its nooks and crannies, and find out what the people here want and what they need.
That's admirable. Just as she turns to Max, as someone with a little bit of PR experience, maybe frame it in a way where it doesn't seem like we just moved into this place and think it's dirty. Because that's kind of the first vibe that I got off of this suggestion.
Talking about Riverside, actually, it is dirty, but it's not because of the people living here. It's not because of its residents. It's because of the rest of the city who treats it like a garbage dump.
Yes, but Riverside also has... she doesn't disagree.
Okay.
But Riverside also has its own unique culture to it that can be mistaken for dirt and grime by people who come from outside relatively easily. I've actually interviewed a few of the street artists here who would probably not be the most happy about people wanting to tear down the graffitis and restore the white walls. There is a lot that could be improved about Riverside. That much is obvious. But I think you should look out for not trying to make Riverside live up to your standards, and instead living up to the standards of Riverside.
Yeah, we're not planning on destroying any art.
It's just, that's also a part of community engagement that you could maybe look into. What do the people here actually want changed? And in what places should you, put your head over theirs, if you want to gain acceptance?
She has a point, guys.
Yes, that is a very great suggestion.
I don't have much more. Anything else?
Well, I guess all I have to say is that you should probably keep an eye on us. We're gonna definitely do some interesting and newsworthy things.
And to the people of Riverside, we're here for you. Just come and ask.
All right, that's good. Assistant presses the stop button. Good, I think we should have everything. It was very nice. We're gonna look into that whole alien thing. I don't think that I can just publish that without seeming like a mad woman if I can't back it up.
That is perfectly fair. So, you've seen a lot of hero teams, right?
Yeah, over the time.
So, can I ask you, what's the impression we give off to you?
You seem, ambitious. Let's say that. You seem ambitious and inexperienced. Very inexperienced.
I suppose that's a fair assessment.
I will write this article either way, because people are really interested in you. There's been a lot of talk, especially since you chose to go to Riverside, where there hasn't really been a superhero team in a good amount of time. But don't climb too high, alright? You're at a point right now where you establish yourself, you try low-level stuff. Riverside is actually a pretty good point for that. You've turned down the big leagues, you're playing little leagues now.
Max, Charlotte, this could be a good opportunity to get the word out that we're looking for the guy in the top hat. Should we?
I don't think that's a good idea.
I think
he's burning down buildings. People are getting hurt. They have to know that there's someone out there who means them harm.
I feel like that might be better handled inside of Riverside and not all of Waypoint.
Okay, you're the leader.
Jessica gets up and sort of brushes her skirt down, her professional business skirt.
Thank you for this opportunity to, show Waypoint who we really are.
Yeah, it was actually quite easy to find a lot of information about you. But hearing it from the horse's mouth was a lot more interesting. Well, good luck to you. I'll tell you when the article's going to be released. It's probably going to be in 2 or 3 days.
Wow, she works fast.
Might not keep everything from the interview in, but, that just makes sense.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
All right. She goes to the door. Her people pick up stuff.
Just one more thing.
No, her people pick up all the stuff and start moving behind her as she opens the door and is hit by a energy blast from outside and thrown into the staircase.
What?
Oops.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, it's actually very easy to find out stuff about you, like your address.
Yep.
And the assistant's army is immediately running towards her and helping her up. She seems all right, just frazzled. Yeah.
I want to check what's out there.
I mean,
okay,
I'm
camera
gonna
or
run...
go?
Charlotte, no, not again.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, too late.
Charlotte, do you
come
run
on.
outside or do you run to the door?
I run to Jessica to see if she's all right.
Yeah. You get there before her assistants then. It seems like she hasn't hit her head, which is good. She just seems a little bruised from hitting her back on the staircase.
Are you
Max,
okay?
on.
Did you see who that was?
I still see who that is. And she points out through the doorway. And when you look out, you see, from her description right there, you might have thought it's someone well known. It's not. You see someone out there in a gray and black bodysuit that appears to be something slightly shiny and made of a mesh-esque material. And you see that their arms are covered in colorful buttons.
Oh.
And they're currently glowing in a strange yellow light and have their hand extended towards the door, which is probably what caused this strange energy wave. You have never seen this person before.
Good to know.
Max, let's get them.
Oh, you finally come out to play. The time has come for the Renegades to meet their match, the Alpha Gamer.
Oh no.
Oh no!
And that's where we'll end this episode.
Oh no.
Oh my god!
I thought we haven't had a comedic villain yet.
True.
Oh god, I see so many gaming puns in our future.
Either way, March Maskness is over now. It is no longer March. But it was a great time, and we're absolutely doing it again next year.
Oh yeah.
I want to use this opportunity also to say hi to all the new people who started listening to our podcast over the course of that.
Hello, new people. Thank you.
Hi, hello. We have a lot of social medias. Our main social media right now is Twitter. So if you really want to interact with us, go there. But we also have a Tumblr. We also have an Instagram. We also have an email account.
And TikTok.
At TikTok, right? The social medias are all at Waypoint Pod. The email is waypointheroes@gmail.com. And also, if you go onto our Twitter, we currently have a post up where we ask for Q&A questions, because we don't want to do a Q&A question episode in the near future. So go over there and ask us anything that you'd like to know. We're also going to post a similar post on Tumblr in the next few days. When this episode comes out, it's already going to be up. And I think that's it. I think we said everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
No more bookkeeping.
Also, these questions
Alright.
can be about literally anything. About our characters,
Yes.
about... I mean, if it's about ourselves, we'll see how personal these get.
Yeah.
But
Where
yeah.
do you live?
What's
Just
your
ask us
social
anything you
security
want to
number?
know.
What's your bank account?
I think I'll cut that one. We'll record it, but I'll cut it. Anyways, see you guys and gals and everybody else again next time in 2 weeks. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.